This is a story about a challenge that I had to overcome and how I was able to do it. This took place when I was about 15, and back then I was a national karate competitor. During one of my practices, while sparring with another one of my friends, they fell down and landed on my ankle and ended up snapping the bone right under my growth plate. But I wasn't able to find this out for a few months afterwards. The main challenge that I had to overcome was having to deal with a broken foot and still competing for karate, all while nobody believed that I had a real injury. Whenever I would tell either my mom or dad, they would both say that my ankle isn't swollen or bruised or anything, so it couldn't have been a real big injury. This went on for a few weeks, and even I would end up getting the same response from my karate teacher as well. After a month or two of my ankle breaking, I had a karate tournament that was scheduled, and I can remember distinctly dreading it. When it finally came time that I had to compete in 3 separate categories out of the 4 that were offered, I had to compete in weapons, forms, and point fighting. During the form, I remember struggling a bit, and the same happened during my weapons. The main issue I had though was with the fighting. It put a lot of pressure on my foot, and it was after all the other things I had to do, so I was already pretty tired. During my fight, I was in a decent amount of pain, but luckily I just had to fight a kid that was a lot smaller than me, so it was a pretty easy fight. After the competition though, my mom finally decided that I could get my foot looked at. I ended up having to be on crutches for a few weeks still, and I had to wear a boot for months after, but overall it was a pretty decent experience.